Consistency is the shortcut. In a world obsessed with hacks, secrets, and quick results, there is one truth that remains undefeated. One principle that doesn't shout, doesn't demand applause, but always wins in the end: consistency. Not talent, not intelligence, not motivation. Consistency. It's the quiet discipline of showing up over and over, even when no one's watching, especially when it's inconvenient. Because deep down, the man who masters consistency doesn't need to rush. He doesn't panic. He understands the power of accumulated effort. He knows that consistency is the shortcut, not in the sense that it's easy, but because it's the only way that actually works. Chapter 1: The Illusion of Speed. Let's start with the lie most people chase: instant transformation. In our current world, speed is worshipped. You scroll through a dozen motivational reels in a minute, see people changing their lives in 30 days, dropping weight, building businesses, waking up at 5 a.m. with six-pack abs and million-dollar habits. And it feels like things should move faster. But here's the truth. Most of what you admire didn't happen overnight. It wasn't dramatic. It was mundane, repetitive, boring. It was built in the shadows, one rep at a time, one page at a time, one brick at a time. Because results don't come from intensity. They come from consistency. You can't cheat the process. You can delay it. You can distract yourself. You can hop from plan to plan, always chasing novelty. But you will not find a path that bypasses daily commitment. That's why consistency isn't just a shortcut. It's the only road worth walking. Chapter 2: The Math of Progress. Here's the math most people ignore. 1 solid hour per day, dedicated, focused effort, adds up to 365 hours per year. That's over 9 full-time work weeks aimed at your goal. But that only happens if you're consistent. If you show up some days and disappear for weeks, that equation falls apart. Your results become scattered, your momentum dies, and with it, your confidence. The enemy of progress isn't laziness, it's inconsistency. You don't need 10-hour days. You need to master the art of showing up every single day, even when it's small, especially when it's small, because the power is in the compounding. Like interest on money, daily effort compounds into excellence. You don't see it at first, but one day it's undeniable. You become the man who can't be ignored, not because you shouted the loudest, but because you never left. Chapter 3: Motivation will fail you. Let's get honest. Motivation is unreliable. Some days you'll wake up ready, fired up, inspired, but most days you won't. And that's when most people fall. They wait for motivation to return before they move. That's the mistake. Motivation is a spark. It's not fuel. It's not structure. It's not a system. You don't build legacies on sparks. You build them on firewood, stacked and lit day after day, with or without the wind at your back. Consistency is doing the work long after the mood to do it has passed. This is why high performers, disciplined men, don't rely on emotion. They move because they said they would. Their word becomes law. Because a man who is consistent without motivation, that's a dangerous man. That's someone who can't be stopped. Chapter 4: Identity is forged in repetition. Every time you show up, you cast a vote for the man you're becoming. You're not just doing the workout, you're becoming disciplined. You're not just writing the page, you're becoming a creator. You're not just practicing the skill, you're becoming competent. And the more often you act in alignment with that identity, the stronger it becomes. This is why consistency is so powerful. It reshapes your sense of self. You stop saying, "I'm trying," and start saying, "This is who I am." You stop needing to convince others because you no longer doubt yourself. You've built the proof into your bones. Every action becomes another brick. Every rep, another layer. Identity isn't built in one decision. It's built in thousands of decisions, made when it's boring, made when it's inconvenient, made when it would be easier to quit. If you want confidence, stop looking for it in positive affirmations. Build it through consistent action. Prove it to yourself. Chapter 5: the real gap between you and the life you want. You don't need a new plan. You don't need more information. You need execution, daily, focused, boring execution. There is a gap between where you are and where you want to be. That gap isn't filled with hype. It's filled with days on the calendar where you showed up, did the work, and moved forward by 1 inch. Stack enough of those days and the gap disappears. But that only happens if you stay in the game. The man who wins isn't the man with the best idea. It's the man who's stuck with a good idea long enough to make it great. That means staying consistent when progress is slow. That means not switching paths every time it gets hard. That means refusing to let emotions drive your discipline. The secret to a different life is not intensity. It's not even inspiration. It's repetition. Consistency is the bridge. Walk it. Chapter 6. Discipline over drama. The world loves drama, highs and lows, explosive change. But discipline is not dramatic. It's not flashy. It doesn't trend. Discipline is quiet. It's a man waking up early with no audience. It's saying no to the short-term pleasure for long-term gain. It's showing up when no one says thank you. And discipline, applied consistently, becomes unstoppable. You don't need a breakthrough. You need a system. You don't need hype. You need a schedule. You don't need another book. You need to implement what you already know. That's what separates men who build something real from men who chase feelings. Real progress is built on boring, relentless execution. Chapter 7. When it gets boring, you're close. Here's a truth most never learn. Boredom is part of mastery. There will come a point where you've done the same thing for so long, it becomes routine. The spark fades, the novelty dies. That's when most people quit. But that's exactly when you're getting close. Boredom is not a sign to stop. It's a signal that you've entered deep work, that you're developing a real skill, a real foundation, a real advantage. The best don't chase novelty, they commit to repetition. Because through repetition, something powerful happens. Your instincts sharpen, your muscle memory develops. You move with grace, precision, control. You become dangerous not because you're explosive, but because you're consistent. And in a world of short attention spans, the man who stays focused becomes rare, and the rare become valuable. Chapter 8. What happens when you stay? Most people will never see what happens if they stay consistent. They quit after week 2. They switch after month 3. They disappear when it stops being easy. But if you stay, really stay, everything changes. You develop trust in yourself. You stop negotiating with your excuses. You build a history of proof that you don't fold when things get hard. And that proof, it starts spilling into every part of your life. The discipline you built in the gym starts showing up in your business. The consistency you applied to your morning routine starts transforming your relationships. The confidence you earned from sticking to your word starts opening doors no one else can access. You become the man others look to, not because you talk loud, but because your presence speaks volumes. Consistency is not just about productivity, it's about power, internal power, the kind that can't be taken. Chapter 9, the truth about greatness. Greatness is not one moment. It's not a championship. It's not a viral post. It's the thousands of moments no one sees. The mornings you wanted to sleep in. The nights you chose to study instead of scroll. The weekends you put in work while others partied. Greatness is the result of accumulated consistency. Look at anyone you admire. Any craftsman, athlete, builder, thinker, and trace their path. You'll find days stacked on days, weeks on weeks, years on years. The same actions, over and over, evolving, refining, growing. Consistency doesn't just get you good, it gets you exceptional. Because most people never get past good. They never stay long enough to see what happens on the other side of average. But if you stay, if you commit fully, you don't just level up, you become unrecognizable. Chapter 10, why it feels slow and why that's a gift. Consistency feels slow. That's the trap. It's not sexy. There's no instant gratification. You grind for weeks and see barely any movement. You question it. You wonder if it's even working. That's when most men fall off. They want fireworks, not embers. But slow is where transformation happens. Because in the slowness, you're learning patience. You're developing grit. You're building internal weight. Fast results often fade, but results earned through slow, consistent effort, those last. They're rooted in something deeper than hype. They're built on character, and character doesn't erode. So if it feels slow, good. That means it's real. That means you're doing it right. Chapter 11, Systems over Emotion. To stay consistent, you must remove emotion from the equation. Emotion is unstable. One day you feel like a champion, the next like an imposter. But systems, they don't care how you feel. Build systems that guide your day. Don't just hope you'll do the work. Schedule it. Don't wait for energy. Build rituals. Don't aim for motivation, aim for motion. Show up at the same time, in the same way, every single day. Not because you feel like it, but because it's what you do. This removes the guesswork. It removes the emotional loopholes. When systems run your day, excuses can't. Chapter 12, fall off, get back on. Even the best fall off. Life hits. You slip, you miss a workout, you break a streak. But here's the rule, never miss twice. One miss is human. Two becomes a habit. Get back on track immediately. No guilt, no pity, just correction. The difference between a professional and an amateur is not perfection, it's recovery speed. Pros don't spiral, they return. That's consistency. Not flawless execution, but relentless return. Chapter 13, you'll be boring, let them talk. When you choose consistency, something strange happens. You stop being exciting to other people. You don't party as much. You don't chase every new thing. You become boring. Let them talk. You're not here to entertain. You're not here to be understood. You're building something, and that requires monotony, focus, solitude. The masses want excitement. You want excellence. And excellence isn't loud. It's disciplined. It's routine. It's built behind closed doors. You'll be underestimated. Until one day, you won't. Let them laugh. Let them scroll. Let them wander. You're staying the course. Chapter 14, the domino effect of showing up. There's a reason consistency creates momentum. It builds something deeper than just results. It builds internal momentum. When you do what you said you'd do, your self-respect climbs. When you repeat a task, it gets easier. When you make progress, your belief grows. And that belief makes the next action easier. This creates a domino effect. One day of discipline becomes two. 2 days becomes a week. A week becomes a lifestyle. The trick is to start. Don't wait for a perfect plan. Build momentum with what you have and protect it. Because once the dominoes start falling, they don't stop. Chapter 15, confidence is earned, not affirmed. Want to feel confident. Stop chasing external validation. Start honoring internal commitments. Confidence doesn't come from compliments. It comes from congruence. When your actions match your intentions, you feel powerful. When they don't, you feel like a fraud. You can't lie to yourself. You know whether you're consistent. You know whether you're walking the path or faking the image, and that knowing bleeds into everything. So build your confidence like a craftsman builds a table, one stroke at a time, no shortcuts, no illusions, just work. Every rep adds to your foundation. One day, you'll look around and realize you've become unshakable. Not because someone told you so, but because you built it. Chapter 16, protect the streak. Once you've built some momentum, protect it at all costs. Treat your streak like something sacred. Because it is. Every day you continue, your identity gets stronger. Every day you break it, you risk starting from zero. This doesn't mean be rigid. It means be intentional. Traveling, adjust the habit. Busy, lower the volume, but don't skip the ritual. Tired, do the minimum viable version, but show up. Even at 30%, show up. Because the habit isn't just the action, it's the vote of identity. And identity compounds. Protect the streak. Chapter 17, Mastery is built in the mundane. True mastery doesn't come from explosive growth. It comes from quiet repetition, day in, day out. No applause, no viral moment. The best don't get bored with the basics. They double down on them. They don't need variety to stay motivated. They find satisfaction in progress, no matter how small. Mastery is built in the mundane. In the ordinary, you sharpen the blade a little more, you tighten the form, you refine the craft, and over time that separates you. While others jump ship at the first sign of repetition, you lean in. That's how excellence is forged. Chapter 18, No excuse survives consistency. Excuses are clever. They sound logical. They're often based on truth, but no excuse survives consistency. Once you prove to yourself that you can show up tired, show up late, show up without motivation, you start to dismantle every excuse you've ever made. You become the man who moves regardless. And from that, you gain something rare in today's world: integrity. Not the type you post about, the type you live. Because a man who honors his word, even to himself, becomes a man who can be trusted with goals, with vision, with leadership. That begins with consistency. Chapter 19, The way forward is boring. Good. The way forward is not glamorous. It's early mornings, late nights, repetition, failure, refinement. It's not headlines. It's habits. But that's good, because if greatness was easy, everyone would have it. If success came fast, it wouldn't mean anything. Let the path be boring. Let it be hard. That's how you know it's real. And if you commit, truly commit, you'll realize something profound. The work becomes the reward. The consistency becomes the joy. And the life you once dreamed about, it starts to look a lot like your daily reality. Final words, your power is in the pattern. You don't need to be the best. You don't need perfect days. You just need to show up again and again. The difference between a man who talks and a man who transforms is simple: consistency. Not over a week, not over a month, but over a lifetime. Show up, do the work, protect the streak, build the identity, remove emotion, repeat. This is the way forward. This is the power most overlook. Because when the world tries to distract you, tempt you, pull you off the path, the man who is consistent becomes immovable. Consistency is the shortcut. Walk it,